One of the things to try to get an idea how people are reacting to this, I looked at a lot of comments on various articles about it and stuff. And one of the things that people seem to be asking, and people like me who aren't experts in this, is why can't Apple just take this phone in a locked room, do what they need to do, give the unlocked phone back to the FBI, destroy their code, and nobody ever knows anything else about it?
So two different pieces to this. One is the FBI didn't even ask for that much, right? They asked for Apple to give the FBI the ability to hack the phone. They didn't ask for Apple to hand them back a phone that they could then use, right? So they wouldn't even have to go that far. You could imagine sort of, though, the FBI sitting in a parking lot at Infinite Loop with a black van trying to hack this, right? If they're doing it over Wi-Fi, it's kind of a surreal image. But they've said that, yes, the phone can stay within a locked room at Apple. Okay, so why isn't it good enough of we're now just going to destroy the code and never use it again? Let's assume for a moment that that's a thing that happens, right? Which is actually a big assumption. One of my friends put it really well. He's like, okay, so you type the code in and then someone from the NSA oozes out from the ceiling, right? There are lots of ways.
Or is already sitting there in the background.
Yeah, you know, there are lots of ways to intercept things. That's probably not the big concern, though. The code itself, honestly, the NSA or the FBI could probably write, probably a lot of other organizations as well. I don't think it's that Apple will be faster at it. Their engineers know their system better. The trick is the signing. That's the hard part. So the question is, why isn't this just a one-shot deal? And the answer to that is, fortunately, there's another case going on in New York.
Right.
And the judge in New York said, well, wait a second. This All Writs Act legal justification, Apple alluded vaguely to this was happening in other places other than the New York case, which initially was sealed and has been unsealed. And the judge asked Apple, where else is this happening? And Apple said, we can tell you about 8 places. Reporters calling the FBI is like, oh, there are 13. So right there already, we have 13 phones that the FBI wants Apple to do this one-time only thing with.
Right.
Okay. Meanwhile, the Attorney General in New York is hopping mad at the idea that this technology would exist, but would only be used for terrorists only, right? He's looking at it saying, we have crime in New York we'd like to solve too. We have drugs, which was the New York case.
The New York case is drugs.
Right, at the federal. You know, we have lots of things we're trying to solve. We have 175 phones in a drawer, big drawer. We have 175 phones already that we haven't been able to do anything with. If Apple writes the code, and they can be forced to do this for the FBI, they darn well can be forced to do it for us. And that's just the 175 we've kept that we couldn't do anything with. What is it going to be on an ongoing basis? I also hear a rumor that there are states beyond New York, right? So how many phones are we talking about? We're already, you know, 1, 13, 175, thousands. Okay, what does it look like worldwide? It turns out that Apple releases statistics on this, and the number of devices that they were asked to help get data off of, now this includes older devices that Apple can hack more easily, right, without having to write all this custom code. For the first 6 months last year was 60,000.
60,000.
So about 10,000 a month, right? About 120,000 a year, roughly. So when the FBI says, it's just this one phone, no, the FBI themselves are already asking for a baker's dozen of just this once. It'd be like if a little kid came to you and said, could I have one cookie?
Yeah.
Right? If you give him a cookie.
He'll be back.